Hello everyone, my name is Michael Azerbad and this is the final part to my tutorial, and what I'll be showing you today is some basic camera functions to smooth out your cinematics in UDK. This is the fourth and final part. Here we can step into our matinee and just showing you that I haven't changed anything since the last tutorial, but if we go ahead and play the map, we can come to where we need to make the changes. So the faces aren't completely on the screen. A little bit off from when our bot is falling. So we'll just go ahead and start with some of these movements. So here we have the camera moving up. I'll make this a little bigger. Oh yeah. So here we have the camera panning across, and these movements right up here are where the camera pans across. So if we kind of take this final movement, and once it's keyed and we clicked on it here, we can just drag this camera down a little bit. And we can also take the starting movement and drag it down just a little bit. So now when we play the cinematic, it shows their face a little bit better. However, some good tips to kind of start remembering is when you do move camera movements, you kind of want to make sure that they're pretty close to as straight as possible. You don't want to be waving the camera up and down as you're making your movements. So if we come back here, this is the camera that I'm moving, and this was the first movement, and the second movement was right over here. So what we want to do is make this movement as smooth as possible. So if we drag this camera down a little bit, makes it more in a straight line. And you can already see that the second camera is going to want to be at the same height as both of our limbs are together. So clicking these tags up here, where are they? Right here and here. They are the same movements as we have selected in our matinee as well. So by selecting them, we're jumping through our key movements. So for this first key movement, we want to bring it down just a tiny bit to where the other one is, and this one needs to be brought down a little bit more to about right there. So then when we're playing it, we can view the cameras that we have, and they're a lot more centered. And then we could jump right to our next problem, with is when we start shooting. So right here we start shooting. However, cathode is falling before the rocket is firing. So we can just watch it one more time, and we can just see exactly which order occurs. So if we look at this, the death stinger right here is where he starts falling, but it's too early. So let's move it back just a tiny bit. Let's say 0.2. This gives us time for cathode to shoot, and then he can fall back. But the rocket seems to be kind of a little bit overkill, so I'm also going to change this to maybe a shock rifle and see how that kind of affects things. So we moved it back about 0.3 of a second. Might not be enough, but it's trial and error. That was a little bit closer. We could probably move it back maybe, wow, let's just say another 0.2. Let's keep it at this and try it one more time. That's a lot better for what we need. And there's one more thing, which is these pans for me are a little too quick. Everything else seemed okay, but these pans. So by holding Control and Alt, we can select everything that we have, and we can go ahead and grab up to everything but our first starting camera, and we can kind of just slide it all over with the right arrow. Next we can grab the second camera, And let's just move everything but the first face cam over 0.5 seconds. And then bring this first face cam over to meet them at 0.5. Next, we'll take everything from the second face cam, second keyed movement down, and let's just move it over another 0.5. Then we can extend our final matinee to come out to 11.2, and let's watch it again to see how it affected it. Camera pan's a little bit slower, except we are transitioning a little faster because I forgot to change the director groups up here. So we want to first keep this back where our director group is. So the first change will be at about 2 seconds. I set this to 2. Actually 2.2. Sorry for that. 2.2. And then this can come over to 2.2 as well. And we want this second face cam to occur at this point, which is 4.9. And we want the final cam to switch at 7.4, which is where it's at now. So this just is going to give us a little more time for the cinematic to play, slow it down a little bit, and more fine tuning and starting to hit the rules of good cinematics. So play one more time. Here's our new video. And it all looks good. So you can keep playing around with it. A lot of trial and error for creating cinematics to try, especially when you start throwing in animations, as they don't always run right away. They take a little time, maybe the animation starts from a standstill, so it just takes a lot of practice with it. And hope these tutorials helped you, and thanks.